All right, guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Rocky, Cheryl Detwiler.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks
glad to
for
be
coming down and visiting me.
Absolutely.
This is awesome. You didn't
Yeah.
come down just for me, actually. I said that.
We came to Miami.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Oh, yeah, that's true. You did come to
We
Miami.
did.
But what were you doing? Actually, you came to Florida for something else, though. What were you doing in Florida in general?
Yeah, we were in
before
Sarasota, so we do business coaching. So we coach authors. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool because you work with authors, and
Yeah,
I work
perfect
with authors.
match.
Yeah, it's a perfect match. But we specifically coach authors on how to monetize their message. That's our specialty. And
Okay.
so we ended up. One of the gentlemen I was personally coaching, and a lot of the people, Cheryl and I coach together. This gentleman I happen to be coaching kind of alone, so it was he and I were working together. And he said about a month and a half ago, he said, "Hey, would you be open to coming to Florida and working with me one-on-one?" And so we live in Idaho,
Yeah.
so we have 4 seasons. So right now it's 30 degrees, and so I had to think about it really hard. Warm in Florida, get paid, coach. Yes. So that's about how long it took me.
Yeah.
So I had really little posture on that one. But yeah, we ended up coming down. We just worked it out. Of course, we get paid to do that. So we orchestrated that into the whole agreement. And it was extremely effective for him because he works really great, just kind of one-on-one in person.
Yeah.
We could be very hands-on. And so she has a different set of skill sets than I do. So it was pretty spectacular for him to be able to get both of our skill sets just being able to help and assist. So that was in Sarasota, which is the west side.
Yeah. West
the
and
state.
a little bit north.
West side of the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
And so you and I had already talked, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to come down." Prior to that conversation, he said, "Hey,
For sure.
anytime you're welcome." So literally, this is like maybe 2-3 weeks later. Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're coming down."
Yeah.
So we
It's
literally
perfect.
planned a trip
Yeah.
Yeah.
over here to Miami, but we've been really engaged the past day or two in alligators. And
Oh, yeah.
snake
I wanted to
hunting
ask-
and
that was-
keys and yeah.
That
Oh
was
my
going to be my
goodness.
next question.
It's
So, like,
been too cold.
I know,
We're
yeah.
divers and snorkelers, and I know we live in a cold part of the world, but we make sure to get out. I mean, we were in Mexico like last month in Cozumel doing some diving. It's beautiful. And so we get down here, and you guys, I don't know, we brought cold weather with us, I guess. So
So
somebody
instead of
did.
taking 75 across, we literally took 41 through the Everglades, the lower part of the Everglades, hoping to find like a snake, just like getting warm on the road, something exciting. No, man, no, there was no snakes out on the road. We even went back roads trying to find something.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, we didn't find any. We found like a black
It was like a
crawdad
crawdad in the middle of
that
the
was just
road.
angry. Dude,
Yes.
like his claws come out. He was ready to do battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was it. That was the most
Oh,
exciting
we saw
part about
opossums.
opossums.
We don't have those
What-
at home,
No
so that
snakes.
was exciting.
Was it on one of those, like, the boats from, like, Waterboy, I think it's called, like, that movie? Like, is that, I've never actually gone on, like, the alligator escapade thing. Is that what
no,
it is?
we just stayed on the main road.
Oh, you
Main
just,
road.
you drove. Okay,
we
gotcha.
drove.
I thought you went on, like, a boat.
No,
No, this
Oh,
was just
gotcha,
us driving across, the bottom
Okay.
part of the state through the Everglades.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But then
Okay.
the last couple of days, we did pay the entrance. We went into Everglades. We
Yeah.
drove
The
through
National
the
Forest,
park,
yeah.
and
Got it.
we
Okay.
found one alligator.
We found
I
one
feel
alligator.
Sorry for
Well,
him.
what happened to him?
I'm sure he's fine. So, anyways.
You might get in trouble for this.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, listen. The guy's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I'm going to just pull a reed out of the water, right, and just poke the guy in
Yeah.
the back, and just get a little something because he's sitting there all day,
Yeah.
right? He's not moving.
Very
I just wanted him to
still.
get a little exercise, so I ended up pulling the whole reed system out of the water. So like the root system of the
Yeah.
reeds, tall reeds.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, this is not a bad idea. Maybe I'll just take. So anyways, he's like over there 20 yards, and I'm pulling this whole thing, right? Because it's probably 10 pounds all the way over. He's on the bridge. So we're walking on the bridge, and I'm hauling this thing over. And we should have been videoing. But anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was just
and
thinking.
he's
I
right below us.
know.
He's right below us. And he's got such a big, thick back. And it was the perfect opportunity to drop this 10-pound reed system right on top of this guy. Boom! It lands on his back, and the thrashing starts. He's going, the whole area just is thrashing like crazy. He wiped out all the reeds in that system and disappeared. I'm sure he told his buddies, "Don't go over near that area." Right? He was freaked out.
But I have to tell you, Rocky was laughing 4 hours later about it. He would just be giggling.
I was in the shower and I was laughing because I was thinking, man, what? Anyways, this poor alligator just hanging out there all by himself, and all of a sudden,
Oh my goodness.
something hits his back. I had to freak him out. This is the predator. Nobody, scares this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden.
No, that's wild. I have not heard one like that.
Yeah.
We got to get to the Everglades, I think.
Yeah. It's not far. You're an
We
hour
were
away.
hoping to see snakes or crocodiles, stuff we don't see at home.
I mean,
but
yeah, we've done
we
research on
didn't-
your Everglades. You guys, it's being taken over by the boa constrictors,
Oh, the
Oh, really?
pythons.
the pythons.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Lots of snakes.
pretty. Yeah,
Were
Well,
you
we
a little
did get to-
scared at all? I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
No?
Yeah,
They're
no,
more
because you're
afraid of
on the
you
road
and-
the whole
yeah.
time.
Oh,
You
yeah,
walk down a
okay,
couple
yeah,
hours,
fair.
but it's not like they're going to jump out of the water or
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things and get you.
Nah.
There's too many
Okay.
people.
Gotcha.
It's just
Okay.
been cool to see some more.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning because
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
some of your stories. So like
Okay.
now we're here, we're in Florida, and
Right.
and you guys came to Florida for a reason up in Sarasota before this. But tell us a little bit more about both of your stories. But obviously, like you said, it starts kind of with your story. And I know on the summit with Jack Canfield and all that, we talked about this, but not everybody that sees that's going to see this. So I guess, how did you get to be coaching authors? Like, where does this
Great question.
stem from?
Great question.
Great journey.
Yeah, it's been an awesome journey.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it was just my story.
Mm-hmm.
So the book was wrote. Cheryl assisted and helped write the book.
Yeah.
And what we know now, it would have been the both of us, but at the time,
I know.
it was.
We sat in Jack's living room, Jack Canfield.
Yeah.
And, he's looking at our book, and he says, "Why did you not put your name on the cover?" So we're supposed to do a rewrite and include me in it. But it was initially his story. And so
Yeah.
even though I ghost wrote and I put the whole thing together and helped him with it, I didn't see the point in putting my name on the cover.
For sure.
Things have changed.
So if we can rewind, we redo that, right? But this is part of the learning process when you're an author.
Totally.
And so now we, are a lot smarter and wiser than what we were when we first started, and that's why I think right now the information and the wisdom that we carry is worth its weight when we help and train people, because we've kind of gone through a lot of the difficult situations, from book covers to information in between and all that. But it started out with my story.
Yeah.
And my I'll give you the snippet story. Was that I was living in Arizona and had really kind of reached that place in life where I could retire, and I had done that, was married at the time, and ended up receiving a phone call from the Arizona Corporation Commission. It was an investigating attorney saying that I had been a victim of an Arizona Ponzi scheme.
How old were you at the time?
It was in my late 30s.
Okay, so you were going to retire your late 30s.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That was the goal. Yeah,
Yeah,
was to
yeah.
retire early, right? So, so I get a phone call, and so I lost everything, lost my home and land and possessions,
Yeah.
and ended up moving out of state for work, and ended up really going to a dark place in life, suicidal and depressed and fat, and just like a fat, suicidal, depressed guy. That's the worst case scenario, right? Broke.
It sounds worse,
probably
actually,
worse.
the way you said it last.
Yeah,
like
the
the
last
opposite.
Yeah. However I word it, just horrible either way I look at it,
Well,
right?
no,
I
but
mean,
the first way was like gradual.
Yeah,
The last one was
yeah.
just like, I don't know what the hell.
How did you get here?
Yeah.
How'd I get here?
Yeah.
So it was one of those nights that I had to make a decision to live or die. Like, that's where I was. I was at a real crossroads in my life.
Yeah.
And so I decided to live, and thank God he was in my life, Tyler, or I wouldn't be sitting here today. And
Yeah.
I went through a process of making decisions. And at that time, I started thinking about words, because I remember seeing words on shirts, a lot of Gothic words at that time. This is
Yeah.
back in the kind of, 2008, 9, Gothic and negative words. And I know a company was around, and it was just really rough looking words. And I thought, what
Yeah.
about positive words, right? So I started thinking about this. And it was shortly after that I moved to Idaho, lived in my brother's treehouse for a year. And
Oh,
then
yeah, I told him about that.
yeah, dude, I lived in a
Treehouse.
sweet
It's
treehouse.
sick.
I lived every kid's dream.
Yeah, I think
Every
it's like
kid
not,
just like, I got to live in a treehouse. Dude, I was a
Yeah.
grown man. Come on. I mean, that's not the place you need to be living, but I did.
I
If you're
gotta
gonna-
hear about this.
Yeah, so I lived in this treehouse for a year. I mean, but listen, it's not in Miami. I'm in Idaho. It's negative 5 degrees. And
Oh, yeah, I
no
didn't even think about
insulation.
that.
It wasn't the warmest place in the world to be
Yeah.
living. And you know, and I had just had everything, and now I've got nothing.
And you can't have a
I'm kind of
fireplace in a treehouse.
No,
right?
no, it's
good.
not. You could. It's maybe not the smartest thing, though. Right? Not smart. It's like
you
having a
have
fire
potatoes?
in a boat, right? It's not smart. I wouldn't
Did
do
you have
it.
potatoes in there?
If I wanted them, I could have cooked them. Maybe got a little. So no potatoes.
No potatoes.
We're having too much fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in Idaho, and I'm living in this freaking tree house, and I ended up getting a coach.
Yeah.
Now I've had many through my lifetime, but I'm going to give you a specific, two specific ones. It changed my life forever, and it's the reason I'm here today too. So this coach helped me get from where I had never gone in 2 or 3 decades. I'd say 3 decades of not getting physically fit like I really wanted to. I couldn't do it. I'd be up and down a roller coaster. But I took the coach's advice, and next thing you know, I just get bodybuilding ripped.
What was his advice? I'm
to follow his program.
Okay, what was his program? Tell
It
us.
was real. So here's what
Yeah.
I said. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to go. Can you take me there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he outlined it for me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was kind of
personal.
a little bit custom,
Okay.
but
that makes sense.
yeah, I followed the eating program and the workout program. Didn't deviate from anything. I did what the coach told me to do, and I got the results that I wanted.
How do you think though, like your mindset, because of where you were, right? Like,
Yeah.
what was it about him or the situation that made you actually follow the protocol? Because you weren't following things before.
I didn't have a coach before.
Okay, so it was the coach. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
it
was
was
the coach.
him. How did he hold you accountable?
He didn't really. I held myself accountable. I mean, I'd go.
You were
and
just
see-
fed up, I guess.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like, here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to go, and I wanted it really bad enough that I just wanted to follow what he had for me.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
His
yeah.
Well, and
plan.
I think too, at that point, it's in the book, and he's mentioned it before when
Yeah.
he spoke, that this was like the one area of his life he had any control over. He had no control
Oh,
over
yeah,
his
I
work
remember
situation or
Yeah.
his marriage that was falling apart, where he would live. But he could focus on what he was eating and if he was going to the gym. And so it was like
Yeah.
that one thing he could do. And
Makes
so,
sense.
So he took
Okay.
it and he ran
That
with
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah.
Got
So when we work with authors, we do our very best to give them small little things to do because, as you know, in the author world, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
Right. And we find that authors that are not successful, they're trying to do everything. When if you just focus on this, get this done. Focus on this, get this done. Same thing with the fitness world. I just focused on my fitness.
Got
what
it.
I'm eating, and go to the gym. Simple stuff. Simple things that I'm going to do anyways.
Yeah.
And so I ended up having great results out of that. That story gets posted, goes online, it goes viral. So going viral meaning I'm getting emails from people all over the world. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy that had nothing living in a treehouse and now is this, looks amazing. And so became a champion on bodybuilding.com in 2 different divisions. And they said, wow, this is great. I invited myself to bodybuilding.com. Well, I got invited to bodybuilding.com to pitch an idea. And so the idea was wearing words. You can see my words here, right? So these are actually taken from a nonprofit company that we work with. We custom custom words for companies. So I became a word expert. And then we decided to build an online program. And then, Cheryl's my spoken word bride. So for those out there that are single that want to meet their incredible next, their mate for life, I wrote about her, dreamed about her, believed for her, prayed for her, and wrote specific details, and she showed up.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, she showed up. And so she helped, one of the first tasks we had was working on the book together. And so in the past 5 years, we've done an incredible amount of traveling and helping people, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world with, our book and our programs. And but you asked
But
the
that's
question,
what-
it's taken me a while to get to. How did we start working together? So you should.
That's what led us to this. Is like when I met him, he'd been speaking, but
Yeah.
always for free. But he had a great message, and he's very gifted as a speaker. He inspires groups. And so my first question for him was, hey, why don't you have this in a book? You'd reach a larger audience, my little mind working. And he said, oh, I've wanted to write a book, and I've thought about it a dozen times over the years, but I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I was good in English class in college. I'm like, I'll help you.
Yeah.
So I figured out, I took an editing class. I started pulling, he had 120 blog entries on a blog that he had kept. So I just downloaded all of those and I started piecing together this book and filling in gaps and saying, hey, do you have a story about this? Write about that. And before you knew it, I mean, it took us a year from idea to completion, book in hand. But that was the point where we went, okay, now we have a book. This obviously is not just going to sell. I mean, it won't even get into bookstores if we don't do something. And so we were kind of late to the party of like focusing all on writing the book and then on the back end going, now what do we do? And so it led us to the next coaching experience, which really changed
everything for us
and our business.
Having a coach.
Oh, yeah. So the next coach.
So the next coach was a business coach. How do we take this awesome, amazing book that we were given, this message that we were given, how do we take that to the world? How do we get people to buy that? How do we get people to hire us to speak? How do we get people to, want to coach with us? I'd never done it. Like I'd never, been a bodybuilding child. I didn't know how to do that. So I'm online one day and I see someone who really intrigues me with the skill sets that I'm looking for. Like, you want to take your message to the world. He's saying all the things that I want to hear. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I need this guy. I need him, right? So I ended up talking to, one of his sales guys, essentially, and really asked some detailed questions. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And so I talked to Cheryl.
I was a tougher sell.
She was tough. And I knew that. I had to have my ducks together and like really know that this is something we were going to do because it was a high price tag. For us at the time it was, $11,000 or something. Yeah. But when you don't have $11,000, no, you don't have anything and it's all credit cards and you have to put them all together and I mean, it was
it's a big decision.
Yeah, so I mean, just even saying that, it was a lot of money for us. And then we had to do that on monthly. It was just expensive. It was really expensive for us.
Yeah.
So my comment at the time, I was like, you know what? I respect you. I believe in you. So I'm not going to fight you on this. If this is really the direction you think we need to go, let's do it. But we're going to jump all in. Whatever they say to do, we're going to do it. Like, we are going to follow, even if it seems odd or outside our comfort zone. And so I have to say, I'm really proud of him because he did. I mean, and it worked. It totally, completely worked.
I think if you want to have great success, you got to be willing to do things other people are not willing to do.
Definitely.
And I was willing to do that. So I knocked on doors. I made cold calls. I made calls to friends I hadn't talked to for a long time. And he, the coach was like, "Hey, go have a workshop." He didn't give us a map on how to do a workshop, right, or what to do the workshop on. Just go do a workshop. That's it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll go. So I sold a workshop to 10 or 15 people that I knew for $300 or something. Yeah. And then I come home, tell her, and she's like, we don't have a workshop. Like, we didn't have a workshop.
He comes home,
I sold a workshop
so
we didn't
proud.
have.
He's like, I've got 20 people coming to a one-day workshop in 3 weeks. And I was like, what are we going to talk about? Are you kidding me?
That is the best.
So we got money on something, and so we created it, and guess what?
Yeah,
it was good.
That'll make you creative.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
And it worked, and that was the first, like, it started to build our confidence, right?
Definitely.
It's like, hey, I'm going to the gym. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to see the definition come in. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Yeah. That same thing happens when you start having success with your book, and someone wants to buy my book, really? And we had people that really want to hear us. Yeah. People want to hear you. They want to hear your story. You've got a message. Most people don't believe, Tyler, that they have an important message that the world needs. They do. Yeah. Right? It doesn't matter what it is. They really have an important message. They lived a lifetime. Their message means something. And so, we learned how to do a workshop. Then I learned how to get a paid speaking engagement.
Oh, yeah.
And then I learned how to get a contract for not just a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, but for 6 months and over a year. So we ended up getting 6-figure contracts put together. We ended up selling our book in bulk, and then we realized that with all that experience of learning how to sell our book in bulk and learning how to get speaking engagements and how to do contracts, it's like, wow, we have a lot we can offer because we're doing things that most people aren't. We're in New York City.
At the same time, we continued with this coaching program. It was like a year and a half. And so after a year in the program, they send out a notice. And by now...
Oh, so this is so we the program that we spent the money for.
Yes, the original.
Yeah, they put out a contest.
They send us a notice. They're like, we're running a contest. Who had the biggest quantum, the growth in this last year, in your first year in the program? And, he said, let's enter this. And I said, we haven't done that much. And we are busy by then. Like, we have speaking engagements, probably 3 a month. We're leaving our state flying out of state, doing engagement. We're doing well, but it's busy. It's keeping us busy. And so I was like, no, we shouldn't even. And he says, yes, we're going to enter that and we're going to win it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So he puts together the outline of the essay, and I go through and I doctor it. And by the end of that essay, I realize how much we've really done in this year. And so now I'm starting to get into this. And we put together a video, we submit it, third party looks it over, these judges, and we win. We win their contest.
It was a $10,000 cash prize.
Oh, so you got your money right back.
Right? Or it was a trip around the world.
Oh,
So
okay.
now what we decided to do was we took the relationship.
Totally.
So it kind of what we're doing. We have a relationship. You and I have a business relationship. So we decided to take this relationship, and we've been so fortunate because that has built us a stronger relationship with that organization, with the founder of the organization. We've been on their stage, sharing, our testimony of what they've done for us, and that has enabled us to gain credibility with all of his, clients, if you will. And it's been a real blessing for us. That alone has made us 6 figures.
Yeah.
But we also learned through the program, through the other individuals, and why we won, and we've been involved for several years now. There's so many authors that don't take the action.
Yeah.
They'll
So
join
true.
this program,
Yes.
that program. They don't actually do what we did, which was go out and put it in action.
I mean, we're sitting at the tables, breakfast tables with 10 people at a time, breakfast, lunch, dinners, and these are mostly authors from around the world, okay? Not just here, all over the world. And, after interviewing 1,000, we found out that we had something they didn't have, and we were making money, and I'm thinking, these people are smart. Dang, these people are smart people, man. Why are we having success? It was almost like I felt a little guilty sometimes. Like, man, we're speaking on stage and we're making money, and these people are smart. They got a great book. But they weren't making money. So it took me some time to figure out I had something to offer the world, and that was to be able to help people start making money. And I got to tell you, it's so cool. It's so cool, man, when you can help someone make money, and we've proven that now. And so now we coach people on how to monetize their message. Tyler, that was your first question. It took 15 minutes to get
No,
there, but
no, that's why. That's
kind of a little bit of the story, so
that's
know
what I
that
wanted.
we didn't just show up here. We went through the grinding process of figuring this stuff out and doing what we were told to do just over and over and over. I still make the phone calls. I called you. That's all. You didn't call me. I reached out to you, and here I am sitting in your, beautiful place in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
It's freaking cold outside, but I'm here. We're here, right? It's awesome.
The
Getting to meet you and
only
your
day
brother.
it's cold.
Yeah, and
Why
a
is
great
it cold
relationship,
outside?
but that comes from doing the harder thing, which is making the phone call,
Yes.
and setting the appointment.
So there's a couple questions that come to mind. First one, why and how did your story go viral? What do you think about it, or what did you take action on after the story was told to make that happen?
Well, I think the first thing that he really had the foresight on is he took an amazing before picture.
Okay, yeah, it is obviously a significant story, right?
Very.
But
Yeah.
even significant stories
Visually.
don't always take off, right?
That's true.
Yes.
I'm curious why or what you guys did.
So
to,
your first question is why and how. So
Yeah.
the why did I do it was I'm at the gym one day, and I had. So this is the power of your story. Everybody listening, your story has power. Almost every book is wrote about something in your life. It's a story, right? Something you did. And so I'm at the gym one day, and I'm lifting weights, and I look great at the time. And this guy I know at the gym looks amazing as well. And so this another gentleman comes in from bodybuilding.com, which was the largest online transformational fitness portal in the world. So it had 10 million customers and 50 million people visited their site every single month. Okay,
This is crazy.
A lot.
50
okay?
million.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyways, Chris walks through the door and he works at bodybuilding. My friend tells him my story. I didn't tell him my story. He told my story. He's like, you gotta hear this. You gotta hear Rocky's story. He tells my story, and this guy says, bodybuilding.com says, dude, you gotta send your story in yesterday. And I'm like, really? I didn't think my story was anything, nothing.
Good
He's
sign.
No.
Yep.
So I sent it in, and the why was to help other people. And so I sent the story in, and when it went live, it helped so many people that they normally keep it on for a week. They kept it on for 4 weeks, meaning they left my story live on for a month, which they never do.
Okay, got it. And the traffic from that really, propelled it.
I would add here, though, by the time I came in, this whole bodybuilding thing had happened 2-3 years, maybe even as many
2011. So about 3-4
4
years later,
before we had the book. So we get the book done in like 2016, and there was part of me that was thinking, man, that's kind of old news. We're gonna have to move on to something new. After the book came out and we got into this coaching program, we were learning about media and how to market yourself and how to use and leverage media to sell and to help build your credibility. So he approached, this is an amazing story that we use with our clients. He approached some local avenues again in our area. So a gentleman who had an online magazine in our area, and he said, yeah, I'd love to do an article about that. That's a great story.
So I reached out to him.
Even though it was
He didn't call me,
4
I reached
years
out to
old,
him.
it didn't matter. Like it still was fresh and new.
It was still a story. So he does
But
a story.
you reached out to him.
Yes. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to do a story. So he takes the pictures and puts a story on. And then I call Channel 7, which is the biggest station in Idaho. And they're like, this is a cool story. Yeah, we'll do a story on you. So Channel 7 does it. I then reach out to Idaho Statesman, which is the largest publication, a newspaper publication in the state of Idaho. And they do a story on it. And I don't know where it's going to go. But I walk into a Walgreens on a Saturday, and I'm on the front cover. I'm like, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
we're giving a talk down in Utah.
Yeah, we're at our first paid speaking engagement down in Park City, Utah. And as soon as we finish and actually get our paycheck in hand, he gets a phone call.
Yeah, and this guy calls me and says, hey, this is Jordan, remember his name, Jordan, and I'm with ESPN, and we'd like to do a story with you. And I said, Jordan, who are you with? ESPN. And I'm thinking, ESPN? I've heard of ESPN. I mean, like ESPN? He's like, yes, ESPN Sports Talk, you've heard of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you calling me for? Like, how come you're calling me? He saw my front page article, their producer saw my front page article on the Idaho Statesman.
Yeah.
I didn't have to call him.
Wow. Okay.
They searched me out and they did my story on bodybuilding.com, but we talked about my book.
Yeah.
And the power of words and how it saved my life and how we're helping other people now. That's how that happened. Now, we got really good
At Pitch and Media.
So now we've been featured on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox,
A&E contacted us.
We were on A&E, a reality TV show, been featured on ESPN. So
What's
all the major
the TV
networks.
show again? Isn't that something
Rooster and Butch? Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
featured
the
on
McConaughey thing.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
The Matthew
that's
McConaughey's
the-
brother,
this-
was
Matthew McConaughey's brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the investor. Oh, it's a trip.
Yeah.
Dude, we could
That
do
was
another story on
so
just
much
that alone.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
amazing. Getting flown out to West Texas, Alpines, hot out. We're pushing a wheelbarrow down their highway. The
Yeah.
cops are like, what are you guys doing? And they're filming the whole thing. We're sweating like crazy. Anyways, that was one of the things they wanted us to do because we're motivational, speakers.
Yeah.
We were in a cow pen with like cows and how to round them up anyways, it was,
I saw a picture from
Yeah,
it. I remember,
yeah.
we briefly touched on it before. Another question I want to ask is about writing the book, because a lot of our listeners, they are authors or aspiring authors.
yeah.
So I'm just curious, like from start to finish, you said it was about a year,
Yes.
and it was like 120 blog posts, and then there were some other aspects. But if there's any advice you would give authors, like what would you say to help them finish the book?
I've since learned that using blog posts like that is actually a really good plan on writing a book.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. And I didn't know it. At the time, I thought we were doing this totally backwards, but it worked. I just have this real organized brain. So if I had any of his writings, it quickly developed into 14 chapters. I had no issue with that. So it was almost like I had 14 buckets. And I would look at a new piece of writing, and some blog posts got split into 3 different chapters.
So real quick though, how did you view the blog? Like, did you put them all up on a board, or like how did you look
Organize
at that?
it?
I
organize
copied
it.
and pasted them actually into Word docs, and then I tried to title.
And
as
you
best
read
I
them
could,
though, and then like after each time you read, were you like this is a section, this is a section?
Then I started piecing them from there. So I'd have
Interesting.
part of one
Okay.
paragraph that I was like, oh, that's definitely chapter 2 material. Oh no, that is chapter 6.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of that organized brain. I don't think most authors have that.
Yeah.
But there's resources
With
out
120,
there.
though, like what I would have done for me, because I'm not that organized, or even to be able to really remember what chapter 6 and 4 are. So I would have to put like head titles or whatever on a
Yes.
board and look at them all together and then be like, okay, you're here, and like maybe mark it in different colors or something.
Exactly.
That's what would work for me. But
Yeah.
you were able to do it in that way, so that's.
And
But similar
everybody's
though,
different.
same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
then as you're reading
yeah.
through, I just knew that there were gaps. I'm like, okay, we need a transition here. This doesn't. We need to explain a little further here. Some
Yeah.
of that is gift, and some of that is the training that I did going through the editor training.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
totally.
use
You
a
did that, yeah.
professional editor, so we partner published. We didn't self-publish.
Yeah.
So when it came to an actual professional editor looking at it, I started to doubt myself. I'm like, oh man, what is she going to tell us? And maybe I really messed up the organization of this book, and something needs to be. Oh
Yeah.
no, I mean, she looked through and just gave us some real basic changes throughout. I was really surprised.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
You normally don't hear that, so you definitely did it well.
And there was one mistake out of the entire book.
Oh yeah, final print. We had one little
Oh,
typo
really?
on
Which is like
one page.
almost next to impossible.
I
Yeah,
did the
one?
proofreading. One. And I
what
changed
was
it.
it? I'm just curious.
Oh,
if
it
there's only
was,
one.
It was is. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I can't remember now. It was some silly little typo
Yeah.
and spelling error that I had missed in the proofreading. And
So that's one part. The other part that I want to speak to the authors is about
Yeah.
that we've seen now over a period of many years and thousands of authors is they stop, right?
Yes.
And they don't do the marketing side of it because they're scared or
Yeah.
they don't understand or they don't have the connections. Or whatever that is, they'll stay in their comfort zone, which is I think I need to do some more editing, or I need to write another chapter, or I need to order another program,
Yeah.
or something that doesn't help get their book marketed and into the hands of other people, or out to the world. Because they wrote this book for Message. We met a gentleman who literally spent over 6 figures and has never made $1.
has never sold a book.
And
No.
and all I
No.
can say is my goal when we work with people is my specialty is not to help you get a great website, right? That's not it. My goal is to help you make money
Yeah.
with your book. And we have simple strategies. Like we were on a shoestring budget as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, ours is real simple and we're effective. When people do
Definitely.
follow what we say.
Back on that topic
Absolutely.
of like actually finishing, I would say from our experience and from the authors I've spoken to thus far, which is quite a few.
Yes.
If you're anything like that minded, just free write. I mean, act like you're writing little blog posts. Or it works so well for me to just ask Rocky, like, hey, do you have a story about this? Or do you remember? Or was there a time that, can you write more about that? And he would just free write. I'm like, don't worry about, how to sentence structure, any of that. Just get it out. I can fix it.
Yeah.
And that worked really well for us. Then I could just get that raw material from him and I could coax it into where I needed it to go.
Makes complete sense. Literally, the only thing for me, because the way my brain works, is would have been to put it up like that. But
Yeah.
everything you're saying, like I need it in smaller pieces.
Yes.
I can't think about it as a whole because
Nope.
if I do that,
Right.
then I'm like,
It's
all.
overwhelming.
Yeah. I'm just honestly like, there's no way I could do that. So
I would be like you.
That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
But-
be just like you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. But an hour every morning, a blog post a day or
Yep.
whatever, or
Yep.
a couple
Yep.
a week, and then it turns into 120, and then you have something to work with and actually.
And to the
build
authors,
into
we
a-
just want them to finish their book. They
Yeah.
finish their book and then start marketing their book so it doesn't sit on some shelf by themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, last question I want to ask you guys here is it seems like you've really built like a lifestyle as well, right? So it's not just about like growing like
Yeah.
it's not although you help authors make money, it's not just about growing like a 7-8 figure business.
Right.
It's about like a lifestyle where you guys are
Yes.
happy. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, what does your typical week look like now with lifestyle and work? Like what are you guys doing to maintain both
Oh, my
how you do?
goodness.
Because it seems to be working very well.
You could literally bring us on here. We could talk an hour about just our lifestyle
Okay.
alone. But
Well-
I mean,
So yeah,
I love this part.
We
honestly.
have a wonderful. When we first started on this journey, I was still working full time just so we had a steady income to build this business. But it was always our goal to get me out of that. So we did. Within a couple of years into this, we got me out of it, and we've just been full time ever since. I did start working with a nonprofit a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I guess. Very part-time on the side, very flexible, and it just pulls at my heart.
And it
It's
really
something
was
I
a
love
God
to
thing
do.
for her. That's why she's doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's,
But I would say otherwise, our typical schedule, oh my goodness. This summer, 3 days a week, we were on the boat and we were boating with the boys. And around that, for a couple hours here or there, we would have our calls at home over Zoom. That was our work life, and that was
great.
our play life. We play more than we work, I would say.
Listen, so I don't know what honestly,
That's
what
awesome.
super rich people do, but I have to just, I'm kind of not envious is the word. I'm just so grateful because
Yeah.
we seriously have a lifestyle that if we had a yacht, like across the waterway that we were looking at, that yacht would be used all the time. We'd have friends in it. We'd be
Yeah.
out there. I mean, it'd be great. So we have everything we have, we use, whether it's our trailer, our razor, our snowmobiles.
We have an RV. We have all the toys.
I mean, seriously, we love life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, part of the Samson effect was that your thoughts, so this is 5 steps.
Yeah.
Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your lifestyle. How you live your life, Tyler. I mean,
Yeah.
look around how many people do you know really enjoy their life? Just take time out to do what they want to do. I mean, we've been I don't know how many people around here been to the Everglades, but they're an hour away. And
Yeah,
we've
we
now
haven't
been there
even-
twice.
Yeah, we
right?
haven't even been.
Well, 3 times. We drove through it, went back, and then went
Yeah.
back today. But I mean, we've been to the Keys, and so we just love life. We really truly enjoy.
we swam with the manatees.
Yeah, we're
the
like
other
this
day.
super cool, fun couple that we just do the most exciting things.
And even in the cold,
Yeah.
we're going home to 3 days a week. We'll be up snowboarding on our ski hill, and then we'll
Yeah.
be riding the snowmobiles on the weekends.
Yeah.
So like,
So
Yeah.
we work.
year-round.
We obviously work, and when we do, it's focused, it's intense.
Yeah.
When we were over there at Sarasota, it was focused. We did our job. We're coming here. We're talking, to you.
Yeah.
And we've been really blessed with this is our lifestyle.
Yeah.
We don't want to just work our life and have no experiences and no fun. And no, we really want to enjoy our life. A couple weeks ago, we were in Cozumel for a week diving and
Yeah.
just building new, great relationships.
I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of why we do this is we want to help other people have great lifestyles too. But
Yeah.
I don't know too many cool couples that can do what we do. It's just really amazing. That's
No,
funny.
well, for sure, and I think that's why I wanted to ask that is because I think a lot of people kind of get sucked into
do.
just more growth, and growth is great. Honestly, I think
Right.
it's a part of living.
Sure.
Well, obviously it is, but you need that too, and maybe do you need? I think it's optimal though to have it, right? Because would you rather have 7 figures where you're working 90 hours a week, or would you rather have 6 figures where you're working, I don't know, 25 hours a week,
Yep.
and you have time, family, kids, whatever, and the whole
Absolutely.
thing? I would choose the second option, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Absolutely.
and I think that's a huge point to make. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So
Yeah.
last thing is, if there's anything else you want to share, please do. But then also, where can people get the book, website, socials? Where can
So
people
this
stay
is
in
the
contact?
part that I for a long time I was never good at because it was the self-promotion part.
Yep.
That a lot of authors and speakers are not great at, and quite frankly, I wasn't either, because it was selling myself and that I'd ask people for the sale, that sort of thing. But I got really good at negotiating.
Yeah.
Like really good, and I got good at getting the business, and so that's part of what has made us successful was being able to overcome that fear of rejection, that fear of whatever that is. So this part I love because I get to talk about how we can interact and build relationships. So you can obviously find the Samson Effect at samsoneffect.com. You can find it at rockydetwiler.com.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
It's on
You can find it
Ingram's
everywhere.
book.
You want to transform your life, this is the book to have. I think it's the greatest book in the world for transformation because I lived it, and now we talk about
Yeah.
it. And after each chapter is like 3 or 4 questions that really are prodding. So companies, corporations, schools, government agencies has this in it to
Yep.
transform their lives or organization. As far as us, we'd love to work with someone that, an individual or a company that would like to take their business or their book to that next level. That's what we specialize in. Obviously, we're really trained in the power of words. That's our specialty. We wear them. I don't know if else that does this. We wear them. We talk about them. We believe their words are ultimate power, that they raise up and tear down, they bless, they curse. So, we want people to reach out to us and ask us questions so they can get engaged on how we can help them. That's our goal. We want to help anybody we can take their life or business to the next level.
Nice job.
Yeah.
You did that well.
That was
It's
good.
It's not like you've had some practice.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I mean, hey, think about it. You get to work with a cool couple.
Yeah.
We're the fun couple. I mean, really. I mean, we have people in our church go, "What do you guys? How do you do this?"
Yeah.
You know, they're seeing all these posts. I mean,
They
all these
live
pictures.
vicariously.
Yeah, they live vicariously through us. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that because it's a life we designed.
Totally, by
I don't-
design.
By
Yeah,
design.
That's
This
it
is our
is.
lifestyle. Like, you can hear people talk about it, but we live it. We
Yeah.
truly are living. Just go look at our Facebook. You'll see.
Yeah.
No way, these guys really do that. So we do truly enjoy it. We're so grateful for everything we have. You know, because I know from experience it could be taken away from you.
Definitely.
It can be gone that quick.
Yeah.
So I just am so appreciative for my amazing wife and the relationship we have, and for the people that we get a chance to work with. So if you're where I was years ago and you're like, I need help, please reach out to us.
Yeah.
We want to help you.
It's true.
Yeah, we want to help you.
Beautiful. Thank you again,
Welcome.
both of you, for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
it.
This was fun.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, dude, we could have gone for 6 hours.